Hey YouTube, how you doing? Biggie here, how's everything? And welcome to another movie review. Today's movie review, I'm reviewing a movie. It's definitely so funny, and in fact, it's hilarious in my opinion. If you like old 80s teen comedies like I do, today I'm going to be reviewing one of them. And the movie I'm reviewing today is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yep. Fast Times at Ridgemont High was released in the summer of 1982, and it's directed by Amy Heckerling, who's directed other films like National Lampoon's European Vacation, Clueless, Johnny Dangerously, and a bunch of other movies. And this film is also written by Cameron Crowe, which is based on his 1981 book called Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is a true story. And Cameron Crowe went undercover as a student at Claremont High School in San Diego, California, and wrote about his experiences. This film defined the outrageous and bold teen comedy genre that follows a group of Southern California high school students as they explore most important subjects like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And here we go with the plot of the film, of this 1982 film. This movie is about Stacey Hamilton, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she's interested in dating, and she's given advice by there's Jennifer Jason Leigh as right there as Stacey, and she's given advice by her best friend Linda Barrett, played by Phoebe Cates, from we all know from the Gremlin film series, but she gets trapped in a love triangle with a guy who's a really nice guy named Mark Ratner, or they would call Rat for short, and he's played by Brian Backer, and he has a more assured buddy, which is an idiot in this film, in my opinion. Named Mike Damone, played by Robert Romanus, and this is the only film with Robert Romanus I've seen. I'm sure he's a good actor and everything, but I could not stand his character in this film. He was an idiot character, at least in my opinion. Even when Stacey gets pregnant, she wanted to have an abortion. He would not pay for the abortion, at least. That's my point in this film, at least. One of them, at least. And we all know the character right here is Jeff Spicoli. He's played by Sean Penn. Dude! And he lives for surfing and being stoned, and he faces off against a teacher who is very strict named Mr. Han. And he's played by Ray Walston, we all know from this 1960s hit TV series My Favorite Martian with Bill Bixby from The Incredible Hulk. And he plays a strict teacher, and he has no time for slacker antics. And like when in the movie Spicoli was late for his first day of class, and also another day when Spicoli ordered a pizza, and the pizza delivery guy, we all know he was played by Taylor Negron. And Mr. Han, I guess, took a bite of it, and yeah, and everything. And Sean Penn did a fantastic job as Jeff Spicoli in this, my opinion. In my opinion, this is one of Sean Penn's best films ever, at least in my opinion. And Sean Penn was in a pretty good amount of films in the 80s, like Colors with Robert Duvall, Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox, and John C. Reilly, even in The Falcon and the Snowman, and the hit 1981 film Taps, which I think was his film debut. And also the film debuts the futures of stars like Nicolas Cage, Anthony Edwards, Eric Stoltz, and Forrest Whitaker. And I love Forrest Whitaker in this film, as his roles as Charles Jefferson on the football team. This film where he's driving a Chevy Camaro Z28 that he loves, and Spicoli likes it. And there was a scene where he warned Mike Damone, and he says to him, "Don't bleep with it." And so eventually Spicoli and Forrest and Charles's little brother, I guess, I don't know if it was, they take a ride in it, and then they total it and they spray paint on it Lincoln Rules, and then Charles sees it and he gets ticked off and angry. And like I said, he's on the football team. And then he tackled the backfield of Lincoln High School's football team and thinks about what happened to his car as a revenge. And they end up winning the football game with his team. And I really love that part too. And we also know Stacey had an older brother, Brad Hamilton right there, played by Judge Reinhold. And he worked a couple of jobs. He worked at a restaurant called the All American Burger. He was popular, but then eventually he got fired for threatening profanity to a customer. He gets a new job at a fish and chips restaurant, which I guess eventually didn't work out for him. So eventually he got a job at a mini mart where he was made manager eventually after stopping an armed robbery with the help of Spicoli, when Jeff Spicoli distracted the robber, and then that's when he became the manager. That's when Brad became the manager, yes. This movie has a lot of pretty good scenes. It does. It has a lot of very funny scenes in this, and Amy Heckerling did a pretty good job directing this film. As I mentioned, Cameron Crowe did a pretty good job writing the book and the film for this movie. Also, this has like good songs in it, performed like by Oingo Boingo, the Go-Go's, even the Cars and everything, and Jackson Browne. This film has it all. I mean, especially for 1982, and that song they played in the beginning of the movie, "We Got the Beat," that's performed by the Go-Go's, and Belinda Carlisle was in it, and was in the Go-Go's, yeah. Also, I have nothing else to say except this is such a wonderful 80s classic. Especially, I've talked about this movie with my friends and family, co-workers, and a big majority of them, they love this film, and they say they like or love this film and everything. And also, Jeff Spicoli, played by Sean Penn, says it's awesome, totally awesome. It says Jeff Spicoli, surfer extraordinaire, and yeah. And it has a lot of some great quotes written on the back of this DVD. That's why I just read to you what Spicoli, played by Sean Penn, said. Also, this film had I guess it did pretty good. It made $27.1 million domestic, or $50 million, whatever, over a budget of $5 million. Yes. And this film has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and 83% of Google users love this film, and I know I did. So, and I strongly recommend you go check it out. I'm telling you, if you've never seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High before, I recommend you go check it out now or whenever you get time. You'll love this film to death. It's laugh out loud, hilarious, funny. Yeah. All the actors were good. Everybody in this film was good. Alright, YouTube, nice seeing you. Take it easy, be safe, and stay out of trouble. Peace.